Hi, welcome back to lighting up your layout with decorative LEDs. This is part 2 of our little series this month. Hope you've been enjoying this. We'll look at some examples of how we can use the lights on the layout. I've got some buildings to look at and some other lighting applications to show you. So hope you're enjoying the series, and thanks for coming back for part 2. Got, I think, 6 circuits operating so far. There's 2 for the yard lights here. Each of these lamps is milling, or actually it's my Midas Flower company here. You can see the lights under the loading docks on each side. The background buildings each have 1 circuit. There's one building there. That's got 1 circuit of lights. It's kind of bright. I think I've overdone it on that one. I might try to tone that one down a little bit. Another large background building. That one's got 1 circuit. The lights along the street and the passenger station, that has 1 circuit. All right, I've made a real simple diagram here just to help clarify the circuitry and the lighting. I've got 2 battery packs here, 2 circuits, 1 battery pack for each circuit. Notice the red wires come off for each circuit. The black wire comes out to a power switch, and then it is a common wire through all the lights. Well, here I've created just a real rough example of how the circuits work. I've got 2 battery packs here. I've got a little power switch, and I've got 4 LEDs to demonstrate 2 circuits. And notice I've got a common wire. I've used the black wires coming off the battery pack. Forgive me, I don't have any black wires, so I use blue. Blue is the common wire that runs up all the way up the side and connects to all the lights. The red wires, positive, coming off 1 battery pack, comes off the upper 2 circuits, and the other pack comes off the lower 2 circuits. Now we can turn them on, and oh, they work. What do you know? And to demonstrate this, the idea of keeping the circuits separate is if I create a short here, you'll see only 1 circuit goes out. Same thing up here, just 1 circuit goes out. That way, if you've got your circuits isolated, it's going to be much easier to find where the problems are, to isolate problems. So again, 1 switch working 2 circuits with the common wire, and works pretty well. Here's a look at the battery pack that I've made to power all the lights on the layout. Not using all of these yet. You can see a couple of them are empty here. I've just mounted all these little packs with just 2 little wood screws into this piece of wood here. It's hinged on the bottom of my layout so that I can swing it up out of the way if need be. And you notice all these black wires, that's the common wire. All the black wires have been soldered together onto 1 lead common wire, and I haven't mounted this little switch yet, but this is the little switch I've got for turning my lights on and off. You can see them coming on and off on the layout there. And 1 switch working the whole layout. Now each one of these battery packs goes to a different circuit. The red wires coming off the packs are wired to each circuit, so I've got no more than 20 lights on each circuit. All right, here's a look underneath the table, and you can see I've got one of my circuits here. This blue wire here is the common wire that runs through all circuits.
The red wire is my positive or hot wire that is unique to just the one circuit. So for each circuit I've got a dedicated positive line. These fine wires coming through, those are from the light poles up top that I've got mounted on the board, and I've just made some real simple terminals here to tighten everything together. These heavier wires are coming off the lights that are inside the depot, the terminal, the little freight station above the board. And again, the light wires here are coming off the light poles that were made earlier. Now, the last thing you want to be doing when you're working under your board is to be going back upstairs every few minutes to see what's going on. So I made this little test lamp. All it is a pair of alligator clips and appropriately colored wires, and I can plug this in, and I know I've got good power and a good circuit on here. This is just another little LED. Remember, it only takes one short to knock out your circuit. So if I was to be attaching these lights, I keep this one going while I'm working under the board, and as soon as I attach a light from above the board, if this lamp goes out, then I know I've had a short and I need to fix that light, so I won't attach it, and I can save myself a lot of trouble from running up and down each side of the board. There's nothing more disappointing than putting in 20 lights and you go up top and find out they aren't working. So make yourself take an extra lamp and some alligator clips, make a nice little test clip here, and then you know as you're putting in these lights underneath, if the light goes out, then you know you got a short, so it'll save you a lot of trouble.
Put a couple of these single pole lamps right into my station platform here. I've drilled a hole through the board, and I'm going to put a tube right through here to help me thread the wires through. You've probably seen this trick. We'll put the wires buildings on the layout. I recognize this as a kind of a kit-bashed version of the Red Wing Milling Company, and I got some lights in here, and I'll show you what we did. Well, first of all, I've got a lot of slack on my wires here in case I need to move the building or take it up for any reason. But if you look inside here, you can see it's really just a simple string of lights, nothing fancy. And if you can see underneath the docks here, I've got two LEDs underneath the docks. And notice I've got some tin foil or aluminum foil there to help with a little reflection, also to help with the light block to keep the light from shining through it. So I not only have a lot of slack here, but in case I do need to take the building somewhere, take it out, I've got some little plug here, kind of handy. I can actually unplug it, a little stubborn, and take the building off the layout if I need to, and do any service to it or whatever. Put it back in, and I've got lots of slack there. The only trouble with the extra slack is it's a little tough to get all the wires back underneath the building. So, real simple, and this worked pretty well. There's, I think, about 7, maybe 8 lights in there. I forgot how many there were, maybe 10, not many. So this has got not so many lights that I can use other lights in the circuit. I've got one pole here I'm going to attach. I've got a couple of other light poles I'm going to put out around the perimeter, and all of that will be on one circuit for this building. So this gives lots of nice light. We'll see a bit later in the video how bright it looks in a nice dark room in a dark setting. Put the smoke stack back on there then. This building's got a little work yet to do on it, as does some of the area around here. Okay, here we've got a roundhouse that I'm going to use on my layout a little bit later in the project. But as you can see, I've got quite a few lights mounted inside the stalls. Basically, I've got one chain or two chains of lights in here. The battery packs are just sitting here for now. And they just basically run back and forth along the supports here. And it works very well. So again, just a very small amount of power to light up a big structure like this, and it works very well. And here's a different look at the roundhouse. The two wires going along the very top here actually go to power little tiny lights I've got on the outside here. These are actually light bulbs. You can see one right there, two light bulbs, one on each side there. I've got another one on the other end. That's what the white wires are going along the top. They're powered with the other LEDs, but you can see it works pretty well. And you may want to be, there's a number of ways you could probably clean these up a bit. Might even paint the wires, try to hide those, or maybe even incorporate them more into the structure or the detail of the roundhouse. But by the time you get the covers, roof on here and all that, all the wires and things seem to kind of disappear. You can see inside the structure there,